Today, I see all of us together, Afro-descendants, our Pan-African leaders and organizations, and I can feel the electric current even through this virtual space today. We are a living testament of the legacy of our visionary, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. He taught us that a people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Today, we plant our feet firmly in our history together. As president of the Afrodescendant Nation, I am more than just that. I am first and foremost one of you. I want to speak today plainly and clearly and do my best to paint a picture, a clear picture of where my mind is in regards to Afro-descendant peoples and the Afro-descendant nation relative to this united front here in this space. First, let's begin with the definition of Afro-descendant peoples. The Queen mentioned it earlier, and I will share the definition with you here. The term Afro-descendants refers to descendants of peoples who were forcibly dispossessed of their homeland, Africa. I know all of us as descendants of enslaved Africans can feel that first bullet point of the definition. Were transported to the Americas and the slavery diaspora for the purpose of enslavement. Were subjected to slavery. I know for myself, I can still feel that trauma right now, coursing through me today from our ancestors. Were subjected to forced mixed breeding and rape. Have experienced through force the loss of mother tongue, culture, and religion. They took our mother tongue of some of us, especially those of us here in America. So we don't know where we are from. And now, we can look up our ancestry, but that's something that they should be paying for us to do, to help us restore what was lost from us. And or have experienced racial discrimination due to lost ties or partially lost ties from their original identity. If that definition resonates with you and you know that that is you, you are an Afro-descendant. As the Queen clearly explained to you earlier, that name, our identity, was voted on by 19 nations. It would be disrespectful, a disservice for us not to accept and embrace our identity that 19 nations with representatives of Afro-descendant people, of our people, voted on for us. Now let's paint this picture clearly. Envision in your mind our history. We were taken from our homeland, scattered across the globe. Our identity as a nation of people was stripped. Families were separated and forced to take on new names, new languages, new borders of our enslavers. We were told to forget about our ancestry. We were kept from reading for centuries. And during those centuries, we were taught to see ourselves as different from our Black brothers and sisters globally. The Black American or African American was different from the Afro-Caribbean, the Afro-Latino, the Black European. We were told to focus on the unique struggles that we have in the individual nations where we were or where we were dropped off, rather than the singular thread that connects us all. We became a vast multitude of drops of water in countless cups. I cannot even number the amount of cups. Each one distinct and each one isolated. But what is a drop of water on its own, no matter how pure it is? On its own, it can be easily absorbed and it can easily evaporate. That one drop of water does not have the power to carve canyons or turn turbines. Now let's just imagine multitudes of drops of water that are not in separate cups, but they're flowing together. Imagine them converging into one powerful river. That, my people, is what it means to be Afro-descendant. Afro-descendant is not just a label. It is a rediscovery of our shared truth. It is the recognition that no matter which continent we were born in, no matter what language we speak, if you are a descendant of the enslaved Africans, you are a part of this one mighty river of Afro-descendants. It is the understanding that your struggle in Brazil is tied to our struggle in America. It is the truth that our fight for justice in London is connected to our fight in Jamaica and Ghana. When a drop of water joins the river, it does not lose its identity. It gains power. It becomes part of a force that can shape even the earth itself. When we declare ourselves as Afro-descendant, we are not erasing our unique cultures or histories. We are acknowledging them as tributaries that feed one unstoppable force. And what can this river of Afro-descendants do when we speak on one accord? We can speak for our self-determination. We can demand our rightful place in this world. We can collectively negotiate the resources and lands we were denied. And we can, with the undeniable force of 250 million, demand reparations for centuries of unpaid labor, stolen heritage, and generational trauma. A single drop of water can whisper. A river can roar. This river does not flow alone. It merges with the great oceans of our allies, our partners, our supporters, our brothers and sisters in the Pan-African movement. It is here in the vast collective body of water that our unified force becomes a global tide for justice, equity, self-determination, and reparations for Afro-descendants.